I've been here since before I could even walk, and I've grown up in the church basically.
My grandparents were members. Folks joined the church about 1936, and I joined when I was baptized in 1941.
It was almost shocking to me that within a matter of months of coming regularly and belonging to the choir, that it was as if I were back in my own hometown church where I had been born into that church.
We raised 3 children here, and it's just been a central part of our lives.
Yeah, so we moved, we had pretty short notice, but we moved overseas to Sydney, Australia. Once we finally kind of got settled, we thought to ourselves, do we find another church here locally, or what, what do we do to stay connected to our faith? And we kind of came to the conclusion that we should, take advantage of the online sermons that we're still, that Glenn had posted every week. And so we actually kind of had this Sunday morning tradition where we'd, make a big breakfast, and then we'd all sit around our table and just listen.
So many times I sit in church and I think if every person in the whole world could just have heard what we heard and really feel, for real, that they didn't need to fear and they were enough and that they were loved. If every person could hear that, if not every day, every week, I feel like the entire world would be different.
The church is a place where you can come and you're not judged, and so therefore you are loved.
To me, this church emanates Christian love, and that's why I enjoy being a part of it.
This church makes me feel known. I feel when I walk in, people know and want to know me. And I think that's a perfect reflection of what God would want us to feel, is that we are known by God, but we're known on earth by our church family.
You make friends with people that you wouldn't expect to make friends with. I've made friends with little kids, and I've made friends with old kids, and I've made friends with adults and parents and people that I normally would have no interaction with, that I get to have interactions with and learn from them and hear their stories.
But the first time that we had the opportunity to serve communion to others in the service, it was very simple, but it was also fairly profound for both of us. We both kind of came home that day feeling the same way, of just the simple act of participating in the service in that way and serving other people was a very humbling experience.
If you go to the chapel, or if you go to the sanctuary, and you look across there, right ahead of you is Jesus Christ. And of course, that's why we're here.
You know how when you sit and you watch a movie, and at the end of the movie, if it is profound in some way, you kind of just sit there and just absorb it. And most Sundays we kind of do the same thing, and just when he finishes his sermon, both just kind of sit there and look at each other and just are just amazed at the message that he conveys.
If I didn't have this church, I wouldn't be the person I am at all, because I have a lot more of my feet on the ground than I would if I didn't, because of the things that I've learned here.
I just can't feel that I could be a whole Christian without feeling that I'm a part of Christian fellowship, which this church offers.
We are told and taught every week that the big words in the Bible are, "Fear not, you are loved."
It's hard to drive by the church at night and not be just
Stunning.
blown away by the beauty of it. But I would say that the real beauty of the church is what happens on the inside.